Gosh, I love that low end torque. Really just shoving me out of corners. Hey crew, I've got the key to that 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser. We are going to take it for a drive, but first, let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. After a 2-year hiatus since the 200 series ended production, the Land Cruiser is back, this time as a smaller, more affordable, global market Prado model. And the way you'll tell the 3 trim levels apart is that the 1958 edition and the first edition, the base and the top level trim, have the rounded LED headlights, while this mid-level Land Cruiser trim, that's confusing, Land Cruiser, has the horizontal LEDs. All of them get the Toyota Heritage style grille and underbody skid plate protection. They have functional side vents, and on this Land Cruiser trim, there are the Rigid Industries fog lights. This one is painted in the Heritage blue color, and over there, Jared from Car Buzz is reviewing a trail dust sand color. Both of them have contrasting white roofs as an option. At the side, the Land Cruiser trim is on 20-inch wheels, whereas the 1958 edition is riding on 18s. The smaller wheels get smaller 245 section tires, while the 20s get 265 section all seasons. The profile shows off an attractive boxy design. I like the kink at the rear window, and the Land Cruiser trim gets roof rails as standard. Here at the back we find LED taillights, and just above there's a button so you can access the cargo area without having to raise up the entire tailgate, just go through the glass. Down low is a hidden exhaust outlet and a full-size spare tire. And hooked up to the hitch that's hidden under this plastic cover, the new Land Cruiser can tow up to 6,000 pounds. Now, understanding that this is now a Toyota version of the Lexus GX and not really a parallel successor to the 200 series, I can get down with the styling, I can get down with the size, but give me mine with the rounded headlights, please. My question for you is, which looks better, Lexus GX or new Land Cruiser? Let me know in the comments, and let's check out the interior. Opening up and looking inside at this black leatherette interior on this trim, the base 1958 gets fabric seats. Here we've got contrast stitching and seat perforations. The seats can recline with a pull of that lever or tumble down with a pull and hold. Then they can go flat and not have the perfectly flat floor here. There's a bit of a lip, but giving you some different cargo options. On the doors, there's injection molding up high, then we've got a padded leatherette piece here, and for your armrest, hard plastics down low. This one gets an upgraded JBL 14-speaker sound system with the premium package, and all Land Cruisers get one-touch up-down windows. There is a running board and a grab handle as standard. Behind my own seat at 6 feet tall, I've got a good bit of knee room here behind the seat. There's a map pocket, good-sized foot pockets, and thigh support is decent. Headroom for myself at 6 feet tall is great. Got plenty of that. That gets the thumbs up from me. In the middle is a third zone of climate as standard in this truck, as is the 2 USB-C ports and the DC outlet. In the middle, the drive shaft hump does push my legs out wide, so they'll be impeding on the legroom of my fellow passengers. So maybe not 3 full-size adults in the back, at least not for very long. Headroom is still a plus here in the middle seat though for myself. And if you don't have a middle passenger, then an armrest can come down with 2 cup holders and leatherette padding. Let's check out the front next. Door close noise. That's decently solid, though that's got that hollow tinny sound. Smart keyless entry is for the front 2 doors. The front seats have heating and ventilation with that premium package. There are plenty of power adjustments and lumbar. There's a power operated sunroof, again with the premium package. On the front doors, look very similar to the back. We add this padded knee portion for your knee to rest against. 2 positions of memory, power adjusting, and power folding door mirrors. To the left side of the wheel, there are controls for the AC outlet for your tailgate release, fuel door, and trailer braking system. I'm going to press and hold that to open up the tailgate. And behind that second row, we've got plenty of cargo space. There is a bit of extra room under the all-weather floor mat here. And of course, much more storage space when you fold down those rear seats. Off to the side is a 2400 watt AC outlet. And though there isn't a third row in a current US market Land Cruiser, you do get a USB-C port and bottle storage on both sides. Power close and lock function on the Land Cruiser trim. Hopping into the front seat with the grab handle. Drivers are treated to a heated leatherette wrap steering wheel. It feels nice in the hands. All these physical controls appear a bit cluttered, but I prefer that to touch controls that sometimes work and sometimes don't, Beyond that is an upgraded 12.3-inch digital gauge over the standard TFT in the 1958. There's a head-up display and this digital rearview mirror with the premium package. Underneath is a 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment that's upgraded over the standard 8-inch screen on the 1958. Both of them responsive, easy to use, and with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Off to the side is a volume knob. Here we've got some physical climate controls. I prefer that to touch controls once again, just easier to use, less distracting while driving. There's a view button here that brings up the surround view camera system. And then there's a wireless charging pad with 3 USB-C ports. Drive mode settings are just to the left, and then underneath the mechanical gear selector, which is substantial in the hands. There are 2 cup holders under the leatherette top console. We've got the cool box with the premium pack. Keep your drinks cool, but give up some storage space. Visibility is pretty solid. There is a blind spot at that D pillar, but it does overlap with the headrest and their standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic. This is a very well-equipped cabin that's running about $68,000 as tested, and that's 10 grand more than the standard 1958, and I'm not sure it's fully necessary. Now let's take the new Land Cruiser for a drive. All right, let's fire it up. After a small jolt, a little rumble, the turbo 4-cylinder hybrid has kicked on, and the AC has as well because it's hot today. Hey cabin crew, thanks for joining me. I'm in a 1958 edition Land Cruiser now that has the premium package still, so you get the bigger screen and the heated and vented leatherette seats, but we're missing the power sunroof here. I'm going to kick it into drive, and we're going to start this one off. The Powertrain in this new Land Cruiser. 2.4-liter turbo 4 hybrid that makes 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. If you're keeping track, that's down 75 horses from the outgoing V8 powered 200 series Land Cruiser, but it's up, what is it, 65 pound-feet of torque? Like, it's a ton. 64 pound-feet of torque. It's a lot. It's routed through an 8-speed automatic transmission and sent, of course, it's a Land Cruiser, through all 4 tires permanently. You do have your choice of 4 high and 4 low. With that 2-speed transfer case, we're starting off in 4 high right now, and I'm just getting a feel for this coil-over, multi-link rear end, double wishbone front suspension on this dirt road. A little bit of extra tire sidewall with the 18-inch wheels, and I'm thankful for it, but man, this ride is so nice. So same engine as the hybrid version of the Tacoma, and same truck platform as that as well. It's shared with the Sequoia, it's shared with the Tundra. Turn signal sound, in case you're curious, is reserved. And what about the world famous horn test? Woo, peppy. I like it. You know what's also peppy is the pickup from this hybrid powertrain. All that low end torque coming in from just 1700 RPM. I do wish I could lower my seat a bit more. There we go. That's nice. That's a great driving posture. Lots of headroom here. Feeling a space, and the 8-speed auto working between the gears, no issues there. Velvety changes in the background, and cruising at higher speed, listening for the cabin volume now that I've turned down the AC. I can hear a fair bit of road noise as it passes by. Not much from the tires, and surprisingly not a whole lot of wind noise either. It's a boxy SUV. I expected more of that, but it's pretty well insulated. And when I get on the power, I hear a low rumble from that Turbo 4. I think I could have a conversation with my passengers up front easily. In the back, might have to raise my voice a little bit, but certainly not shouting. Surprisingly quiet in here, actually. And as I head into some curves, I'm switching into the sport drive mode. That's eco. There we go. Sport. PerHr throttle response. Wow, the steering. Nice natural feel. Good buildup of resistance to tell me what's going on with the tires. Can place the vehicle easily on the road. Got those brakes. A little bit of nosedive, but not bad. And the pedal responsiveness is nice as well. Good feel to that. I know the right amount of foot pressure to apply to get the appropriate amount of slowing. Touch of lean from this body-on-frame SUV up top in the curve. But, I mean, it feels still very stable. Gosh, I love that low-end torque. Really just shoving me out of corners. Well, who would have thunk it? The Land Cruiser is actually kind of entertaining to drive on curves. I wouldn't necessarily seek them out, but you know what? If I found myself here, I could have a bit of fun. Now, I know what you're really curious about is whether the new Land Cruiser is quick to 60. So I've got my race box set up here to record. I'm in the sport drive mode. I'm brake boosting it off the line, and I'm letting it go. And there's 60 in 7.91 seconds. It really is a Land Cruiser. Honestly, that's not really all that slow, and importantly, the Cruiser has the grunt where it counts. Even when you need to tackle an uphill and get ahead of a big semi-truck. There we go. And we've also got some decent technologies like adaptive cruise control and steering assistance, both of which are standard on this vehicle. And I'll just briefly demonstrate here it holding the center of the lane. I'm not going to trust it on this higher speed curve. And now as I move the drive selector into the Eco Drive mode, it's appropriate to talk about the fuel economy for this new Cruiser. 22 mpg in the city, 25 on the highway, and 23 combined. That is a huge leap over the last generation Land Cruiser. Again, not being a direct parallel, but the 200 series getting 14 combined compared to 23. That is going to save you so much at the pump. But as an 80 series Land Cruiser owner, I've never been accustomed to fuel efficiency. So instead, I want to turn my attention now to how the Land Cruiser gets on off-road. So starting off in four-wheel drive high now, I want to see how that ride compliance I experienced on-road transfers to this off-road portion. Soaking up the blemishes pretty well. Coil sprung rear end, providing a little extra cushion. But there is the rigidity of the body-on-frame structure. I was just doing this course yesterday in the Tacoma TRD Pro with that Fox remote reservoir suspension, and that definitely felt softer, and it also had the isodynamic suspension seats. So this is a firmer experience. I'm in no way uncomfortable in these seats, cushioning me well. As I said before, the tire sidewall that I have with the 18-inch wheels versus the 20s on that Land Cruiser trim, taking some of the blows. Nice turning radius. And then as the speeds drop, the multi-terrain view monitor shows up, giving me that really cool transparent view through the SUV so I can see whatever is going on around it. And speaking of visibility in this truck, because of the depression in the hood, I actually see right there in front of the vehicle easily. And then the raised up portions on the edges give me nice tracking of where my front tires might be. Gotta love, even in 4-drive high, that torque comes in so strong to pull me easily up hills. And then when the speeds drop, the view monitor shows up, letting me line up before going whee. And now we're entering what Toyota called the playground area. So I'm gonna change it up on the multi-terrain select now, which you can access in both 4 high and 4 low, and move this into the sand selection, which allows a little more slip from the traction control system and perks up the throttle response for fun. Of course, being useful in sand, but in this, just for entertainment. Handling the undulations well. A little slide action. Moves the power around as needed. Back on it. Took that harsh impact pretty well. Land Cruiser, again, not made for high-speed stuff, but holding its own here. Be careful with the braking, because loose terrain is going to increase that stopping distance. Grateful again for the small turning circle. And playtime is over here. Now it's time for some low-speed technical stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do here is move into 4-drive low. So I'll pop it into neutral and move the transfer case down into low. Roll back a little bit until that engages. We're good there. Back into drive. And now, having arrived at the first obstacle, I'm going to lock up the center differential and roll forward a little bit. Let that engage. There we go. I could feel it. Being clear of the front tire of that rock. Put my front driver's side tire on this rock here. Just kind of slowly make my way forward. And I'm not going to use the crawl control just to start here. Just going to feather the throttle with my right foot. Moving up this steep ascent. Consistent throttle, all that low end torque, making this easy. Now's a good chance to lock up the rear as well. Both the center and rear locker are standard on this new Land Cruiser. That's locked up. And here's a good demonstration of articulation. Plenty of that. This one does have the running boards, but they're not scraping at all here. Now with the diffs locked, I feel that just the almost loss of traction, and then it just figures things out. I am more than thankful for the excellent 31-degree approach angle, 25-degree breakover, and 22-degree departure angle for these pretty heavy depressions that I'm entering and exiting. I know this is a groomed course, but it's simulating some pretty decent obstacles here. Land Cruiser taking them in stride. Now this is one place where the smaller dimensions of this new Land Cruiser really pay dividends, because as opposed to the larger 200 series, I just feel like I have this room to move even on tighter trails without the fear of pinstriping. And that, in addition to the excellent turning radius, makes this feel so maneuverable, so much more so than the last gen Cruiser. Now this looks like a good opportunity right here for crawl control. So I'm going to tab that button here, and in full range low, it's not going to go to the downhill assist, it's going to go to the crawl. And I can use this dial to adjust the speed at which I work my way up. Then just getting to focus on where I plot those tires. So foot not on the gas, not on the brake. Letting the truck sort it out. And you know what I'm not hearing right now? From crawl control, typically, the old gen system made so much noise. All these pops and creaks, you felt like things were breaking. That's not the case with this new one. It's silent. That's a much more enjoyable experience. Good deal of traction from these tires as well. Despite them not being all-terrains, it's just all seasons. Here's more articulation. I'm actually going to turn off crawl control. Why not? Let's disconnect the sway bar just for funsies. There we go, that's disconnected. Just feel that extra travel up front. You can tell because the nose stays more level than it pitching to either side when the sway bar is locked up. All these great tools coming together to make the Land Cruiser, I would argue, more capable than ever off-road, while being just as comfortable, certainly on-road, as the last-gen Land Cruiser, while having much greater efficiency. Along with the real kicker, the starting price of $57,000 for the entry-level 1958, or 76 grand for the fully loaded first edition, and the Land Cruiser trim being somewhere in between. Compare that to $89,000 for the older 200 series, and this new model is just going to open the doors to many new people who could never afford to get into a Land Cruiser before now. Though this new Land Cruiser is not really following in the lineage of the 60, the 80, the 100, the 200, it is paralleling that 70 series that we didn't get in the US and that off-road enthusiasts were so up in arms about. So I think we should celebrate it. It's different, but it has its own appeal. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV first drive. I'll see you again next time.